Howdy, I'm Jeff Fowle, and welcome to the KK Bar Ranch. Today I'd like to give you a brief tour of our place. I'd like to try to help put a face on agriculture. We're an average size farm in our valley and are solely self-operated. We raise alfalfa, grass alfalfa, plenty of pasture on which we run horses, Angus and Hereford cattle, as well as a few sheep. I'd like to introduce you to our chauffeur for this afternoon, who's graciously volunteered to be our wheels for our tour of our ranch. This is my quarter horse gelding Tough. I'm the third generation to be working with the land on this ranch to provide food for our country. My son will be the fourth to operate this ranch, hopefully. Our first stop is right here at the barnyard. These are our simple corrals that we have slowly been putting together over the last 2 years, replacing all of the wood posts and board with pipe, as it's much easier to deal with and longer lived. Stopping by to say hi to one of our weanlings. Continuing to the back of the barn, you can see our sale bulls for this next year. They're April calves, got weaned here recently. We feed out between 8 and 15 bulls a year to be sold to other cattlemen, putting the steaks on your plate and the hamburgers in your buns. We wean and feed out supplemented with a grain ration, and hay is fed in front 24/7. Coming out of the corral area, this is our round pen and arena setup where my wife and I train horses, and my wife is actually a one-star corrally professional. This is the first of our hay fields. The first cutting we split between keeping for ourselves, feeding our own cattle and horses, and we also then sell part as export hay to Japan. Our second cutting, we will retain some for our own use, as well as then sending on to feed stores. And our third cutting will predominantly go into large one-ton bales and be sold to local dairies. You can see right here, we have implemented water efficiency technology and put in what is called a center pivot system. This second alfalfa field, you can see a lot of old growth on it. It's ready to drag. I ended up losing the ability to graze it last fall due to the fact that we had early rains and it continued to rain, and I was unable to get cows in to graze it off, and lost about 3/4 of a ton to the acre on 55 acres. Now we're coming up on our first pasture, which we call Field 3, and you can see out here we have 3 horses for winter. We're now about through the first field, coming into our second pasture, Field 4. The surface water is a very serious issue here in Scott Valley, as the state of California, through the Department of Fish and Game, is currently trying to take our water by requiring that we purchase numerous permits in order to divert, even though we have mitigated for all potential take of endangered and threatened species. And with the loss of the ability to utilize that water to grow pasture and provide water for the livestock, this ranch will have a serious issue in remaining viable, and likely will have to be sold and subdivided and put houses on. And here is our bottom field, number 7, where we have our spring calving Angus cows. The falls are on the other side of the river. We use wheel line to irrigate this field, as well as flood irrigation in the early part. And this is field number 6, which is our alfalfa grass mix, which we keep all of the hay off of that field for use with our own horses. Give a quick tour of our tack room. Tack simply being the equipment that we utilize when we are utilizing our horses, playing with them and driving them. We have the light horses that we use for cow work, roping, reining, as well as the draft horses that we use for work and parades. You can see the collars harness along the one wall. We also go into the mountains, and you can see the pack saddles stacked there against the wall. Our logging harness we use for pulling trees out of the mountains where they don't allow mechanized equipment. and of course our resident cat who wanted to say hello. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short tour on horseback of the ranch, and have a great day.